doing today? Tonight, we're going to be unboxing some Panini NBA Hoops cards just in time for the NBA playoffs. Really quick, I'm still getting used to the Zoom mic and things of that nature. And because I don't have a traditional desk stand for it, I had to improvise with some items around the house. And I put this little cloth here to sort of mask the Q-tip container underneath. And there's other stuff too, but in case you're wondering what this is, that's just there to sort of blend in. And that might be why I sound a bit farther away from the mic than usual. Also, as I'm opening some of the cards here, I figured I'll copy Binaural Eats a little bit. One of my favorite ASMR artists, by the way. You should check him out. And I would have a couple of these trolley sour crunchy crawlers. I had them before, I believe, and they're really good. So I figured it'd be, a nice bit of sound as I'm opening the cards to have a few. But I'm very excited to open these up. I'm really hoping to get my favorite NBA player, Joel Embiid, who, let's be honest, is the real MVP this year. And the second player I would absolutely love to have is Tyrese Maxey, who also plays for the Philadelphia 76ers. He's a young star for Philly. So let's go ahead and open this box up. And we'll start by getting some of this plastic wrap, actually. Before I do that, let me just make a little bit of sound with this box for you guys. Let's get started. I'm definitely going to have to edit that little part out. That was quite the aggressive popping sound. Let's dive in. This box does say to look for the ultra rare anniversary edition parallel card. So there is a slim chance of pulling a really valuable card. But outside of that, I really just want to get some cool rookie cards and hopefully some of my favorite players. So let's set that up there. And there's 88 cards, so 11 packs in total. I'm going to use a trick that Binaural Eats uses, and I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it so far in every card opening video I've done. But what he does to identify potential jersey cards or things of that nature, he looks at the sides of the packs, and if you see one that's wider, usually noticeably wider than the others, it's a good indication that that could be a jersey card or something in that one pack. But I'm not really noticing any size differences. Are you? Yeah, me neither. Let's go ahead and we'll put those right there. Actually, we'll set them there. That way the reflection's not so bad. Okay, let's get started. So the first player that we find is Chris Bouchard. I believe that's how you say his name. And he's a really good young player for the Raptors. He is actually somebody the Sixers have to look out for during the playoffs this year. They play their first game this Saturday. And he's pretty dangerous from three-point line, usually only against us. I don't know if that's just a Sixers thing or not, but usually players who have lower averages go off against us. But there we are. The next player is R.J. Hampton for the Orlando Magic. Obi Toppin, a pretty good player for the New York Knicks. Marcus Morris Sr., a gritty player for the Clippers. Is he still on the Clippers? I'm not sure. I think he is. Bradley Beal, a really good player for the Washington Wizards. He's actually mentioned, well, it's been reported anyways, that he wants to play with James Harden and Joel Embiid up in Philly this year or next year. But it would be quite a tough situation to get him there. Jordan Clarkson, Utah Jazz. I believe he won the 6th Man of the Year, or if anything, he's regarded as one of the best 6th men. Yeah. He was named 6th Man of the Year. Donovan Mitchell, an excellent all-star for the Utah Jazz. Isaiah Livers for the Detroit Pistons, and he is a rookie. I'll put the regular cards here, and I'll put the rookie ones like down here. Oh, you know what? Let me grab a few of these trolley gummies real quick. I got mostly green ones. So, let's go ahead and try it out. It's kind of like a nerd's rope, if you ever had that. Just in a smaller form with more, like, more nerds coating. Okay. Russell Westbrook. I mean, he's a fantastic player. His best years are most likely behind him, but he plays for the Lakers. And he's averaged a triple-double in a bunch of seasons and stuff like that. Harrison Barnes, Sacramento Kings. DeAndre Ayton, Phoenix Suns. He's a really good center. And he showed up quite a bit in the playoffs last year and the finals. DeAndre Hunter plays for the Atlanta Hawks. Pretty good player for them. Kelly Oubre Jr. plays for the Charlotte Hornets. Desmond Bane, a really good player for the Memphis Grizzlies, and is in consideration for being named this year's most improved player. That's a cool looking card. So, NBA Preview 2021 Slam Magazine, and it has Mavericks star Luka Doncic on the cover. The world is watching Luka Doncic. It's a pretty unique looking card. And we have a rookie, Davion Mitchell, for the Sacramento Kings. That team, for whatever reason, just cannot figure it out. They just are not great at anything in the front office, it seems. Drafting, or when they do get good draft picks, and talent acquired via those draft picks, they trade those young players away. They're kind of just all over. I feel for those fans. Dennis Schroeder, Boston Celtics. Dennis is a great player. Has been now for a while in this league. He's known as a hustle guy, hard-nosed. And, he's just got that fire to him, usually. Karl Anthony Towns, the Minnesota Timberwolves. He's a great player, really good center / power forward. He named himself the best shooting big man of all time, but I hesitate to go that far. Though he did have an impressive outing in the three-point contest this year. TJ Warren, the Indiana Pacers. Lonzo Ball. Good player for the Chicago Bulls. Got really unlucky with an injury this year. I want to say it was Achilles or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it was an ankle. But unfortunately, he is going to miss the playoffs this year. So he just can't seem to catch a break. Emmanuel Quickly, New York Knicks. It's a good player for them. They have a lot of good hustle guys on their team. This card's kind of stuck. Oh, hey, check this out. Oh, this is awesome. Look at that. I was not expecting to get any good cards, like, that are different than the normal cards. Holy crap. It's a jersey card. Oh, this is awesome. And it's one of my favorite young players, Evan Mobley. Oh, this is really cool, honestly. Oh, this is great. Yeah, this is really, really neat. It doesn't really say much to compliment it other than the fact that it is a jersey card. You would expect it to say a little bit more. The enclosed, officially licensed material is not associated with any specific player, game, or event. Well, that's slightly disappointing, but okay. It still is a jersey card. That's really cool. We're going to put that right up there. That's awesome. I'm very, very happy about that. This is another one of those kind of different formatted cards. Differently formatted. It says Lights, Camera, Action, and it's Colin Sexton of the Cavs. A really good player for them. They made a lot of noise this year when everybody just expected them to be a pretty bad team. And we have a rookie for the Hornets, the Charlotte Hornets, James Bonite. I think it's Bonite. I've never really heard their name before. I don't catch too many Hornets games or highlights, but I'll just read this here. Shifty with the rock, Bonite breaks down opponents in the most New York way possible. After hitting defenders with a filthy crossover, the Brooklyn-bred baller uses a series of hesitation dribbles to throw off an opposing rim protector before finishing an acrobatic layup and smiling at the crowd. Pretty cool. Alright, let's get another worm. I'm so excited about that Evan Mobley card. to say their first name. I'm going to guess and say, I don't think their name is CD, but that's what it looks like to me. Or Sedai, maybe. But I'm going to say Sedai Osman, or Osman, for the Cavaliers. Jayshawn Tate for the Houston Rockets. Luke Kennard for the Los Angeles Clippers. Oh boy, I don't know their name. Denny or Denai Advaja? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm probably butchering that name. Cameron Johnson for the Phoenix Suns. Royce O'Neal, Utah Jazz. Kai Jones, rookie for the Charlotte Hornets. And Juan Toscano Anderson, rookie for the Golden State Warriors. All right, let's grab some more here. Kyra Lewis Jr. for the New Orleans Pelicans. I'm gonna butcher this name. Alexei or Alexia Pokusevsky. Pokusevsky, maybe. Unsure, but cool name. Doug McDermott for the San Antonio Spurs. PJ Tucker of the Miami Heat. Mason Plumlee, Detroit Pistons. John Collins for the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young, another Atlanta Hawk. It's a cool looking card. It says Skyview. That's actually the name of one of the projects I grew up near. I grew up in the projects Valley View, and the one adjacent to us was Skyview. And Isaiah Jackson, a rookie for the Indiana Pacers. Chris Paul, one of the best point guards to ever do it, and is still doing it, even at, I think it's either 36 or 37 now. He's an amazing player. Josh Jackson, Detroit Pistons. Dylan Brooks, Memphis Grizzlies. Will Barton of the Denver Nuggets. Joseph Nurkic of the Portland Trail Blazers. Mikal Bridges, Phoenix Suns. Rashawn Holmes, Sacramento Kings. He used to actually play for the Sixers. He was with us the first 3 or 4 years of his career. Pretty good player. Trey Murphy III, a rookie for the New Orleans Pelicans. Oops. There we go. Okay. Next pack. Alright, the first Philadelphia 76er to appear in this card opening, Tobias Harris, arguably one of the most overpaid players in the league. He's a decent player, but honestly, he's making way too much money. At least, in terms of our salary cap. Cole Anthony, the Orlando Magic. Jaden McDaniels, Minnesota Timberwolves. Spencer Dinwiddie. He was playing for the Wizards. However, there was a trade right before this year's deadline, which sent him to the Dallas Mavericks. He's actually been performing pretty well for them, alongside of Luka Doncic. Bojan Bogdanovic, Utah Jazz. Thaddeus Young. It says the Spurs. I'm pretty sure he got traded this year to the Toronto Raptors. I could be wrong. But he was actually one of my favorite players for the Sixers during what we fans know as the Doug Collins era, which is pre-process. He was a great player for the Sixers. He was just a hard-working hustle, go get some rebounds and some putback, easy points. And he was great on defense from what I can remember. I'm honestly surprised he's still playing, but I loved him on his time with the team. John Wall. Man, I take back my comment, actually, about Tobias Harris. John Wall is probably the most overpaid player in the league. Arguably is one of the worst signings in NBA history. Not the initial contract and things like that, but when he signed that super max deal, or whatever it was a max deal for sure, just 2 seasons ago with the Wizards, he has fallen off of a cliff and has never come back. And now he's getting paid by the Rockets to sit at home completely healthy, just so they can tank and he can collect a paycheck until he gets a better opportunity somewhere else. He used to be considered one of the best point guards, though, and now he's just John Wall. And Jason Preston, rookie for the Los Angeles Clippers. This man doesn't need an introduction. This is Carmelo Anthony, who played this past season with the Los Angeles Lakers. He's an NBA legend. He's been fantastic pretty much throughout his whole career. During the early days of Denver, then in New York with the Knicks, and even now as a more backup role with the Blazers and the Lakers. De'Aaron Fox, Sacramento Kings. They must really believe in this guy, because they traded away 2 young, talented players in Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield to the Pacers. I don't actually know if Buddy Hield is still considered young or not. I don't remember his actual age, but I know Halliburton was definitely young. And they decided to keep Fox. Kyle Lowry of the Miami Heat. He was a lifetime Raptor for the most part, though. Won a championship with them during the Kawhi Leonard Raptors run. And just a good player, great player, I should say. And he's also a Philly guy. So PJ Washington Jr. for the Charlotte Hornets. Bogdan Bojanovic, the Atlanta Hawks. Bogdanovic, yeah. Oh, here we go. Ja Morant of the Memphis Grizzlies. An amazing player. I think this is his 3rd year, right? Might even be his 4th now. But he was drafted number 2 overall after Zion Williamson of the Pelicans was drafted number 1 overall, which was the right move at the time. But Ja Morant has proven himself to be every bit as capable, if not more so, than Zion Williamson is. and Zion, he's been dealing with injuries and overeating and stuff like that. But he has, he was basically dubbed the next LeBron James, pretty much. And Ja Morant is so far, again, barring the injuries and stuff, outperformed Zion Williamson's expectations. And he's just a heck of a young player. Can't say enough about him. He's really exciting to watch. If you ever get time, especially in the playoffs, I'm sure he's going to go off. So definitely check out some of his games or some of his highlights. He's got quite a few of them already in his young career. Now this is a really cool looking card. Arriving now. NBA Hoops, Isaiah Jackson. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, he's a rookie. So I don't know if this counts as a rookie card or not, but I'm going to put it down there anyway. Cool card. A Philly guy. I actually really like this guy. It's Charles Bassey for the 76ers. He's a big man who, for whatever reason, our coach Doc Rivers hates playing young players. And so he doesn't get a lot of playing time. But when he does, he performs pretty well. And he absolutely tears it up for the G League here and there when he does get sent down to there. But if Doc ever decides to not play the ancient DeAndre Jordan as backup center and play somebody who actually hustles for the ball, then hopefully Charles Bassey can get a little bit of more playing time when Joel Embiid's sitting out. But he's a great player. I hope we keep him. Yeah, he's awesome. Okay, next pack. This is Enes Kanter of the Boston Celtics. Now, he's had a little bit of, I guess controversy is the right word, but it just feels like the wrong word, surrounding him lately for his comments he's made about China. And for those of you who aren't familiar, if you're in the NBA and you make any comments about China, it's a big no-no. Because there's a huge market for the NBA in China. Enes Kanter is, he's got some origins, I guess, in Tibet. I think it's called Tibetan, would be what you would be. I'm not sure. But he's basically said, he's spoken out about some of the things happening in Tibet to his people, and has changed his last name to Freedom, which I thought was kind of a silly idea, but I get the sentiment. And he's a decent enough player from what I know. However, he's no longer in the league. I think he probably would have still had a job personally if he didn't speak out against China. But I think because he's not that great of a player anymore, none of the teams really want to take on that little bit of media attention for what services he might provide to them. It just wasn't worth it. So it's a shame, but I mean, it is what it is. That's business, I guess. I don't agree with the league, by the way. I think you should be able to speak out about things like that. This is Kevin Love. He's a really interesting story. He used to play for the Minnesota Timberwolves years ago, and he was a double-double machine. He was scoring a ton of points and everything. And then he got traded to LeBron's Cavs team when LeBron returned. And they eventually won a championship, and he was kind of the third wing, sort of, behind LeBron and Kyrie Irving. And then when those two both jumped ship, he just sort of stayed behind and has always been a solid player for them since. But, yeah, interesting story overall. Michael Porter Jr. of the Denver Nuggets. The Sixers ended up trading him away. I think it was for Zaire Smith. And I hate the Sixers for doing that ever since. Because Zaire Smith became a bum. Well, so to speak. He didn't turn out to be anything. He got an allergy reaction one day, some kind of super allergic reaction, and was just never the same again. And Michael Porter Jr. is actually a really good player who hasn't played that much this year at all because of injuries, but yeah, it is what it is. Derek Jones Jr., Portland Trailblazers. Kemba Walker, New York Knicks. That was a really interesting story for this year. He went to the Knicks, and I know a couple Knicks fans who are really hyped up about it, saying how he was going to be this great resurgent player, but he turned out not to be that, which is what I told the Knicks fans would happen, but they didn't believe me. But no, he's a good player, but he just, for whatever reason, isn't fitting with what they're doing there. So they both agreed for him to sit for the rest of the year. I believe that's what happened. Either that or injury. I'm not quite sure. I could be wrong. Malik Beasley of the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is a cool looking card here. This is a frequent flyers card. And it's a picture of Jason Tatum getting ready to dunk the ball. He's a really, really good player for the Celtics. And we have Trey Mann, rookie for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Okay, our second to last card pack. Let me grab another worm. This is Eric Gordon, the Houston Rockets. This is Zion Williamson. It's kind of a silly looking picture, but he plays for the New Orleans Pelicans, and as I mentioned before with John Morant, he came into the league with quite lofty expectations. He's a freak athlete. He's big, muscular, explosive, but he's had a few injuries now, and there's a lot of concern about his weight gain. you look up anything about him online, YouTube or whatever, and there's a lot of speculation about whether he wants to even be in New Orleans, whether he takes the NBA seriously, all that stuff. Montrezl Harrell, a good player for, it says the Washington Wizards, but I feel like, I think he's playing for somebody else now. I want to say maybe it's with the Hawks or the Hornets. I could be wrong, but I don't think he's with the Wizards right now. Rudy Gobert. He's won a few different Defensive Players of the Year awards, and he's a center for the Utah Jazz. He's a decent player. Devin Vassell, or Vassell maybe, San Antonio Spurs. Victor Oladipo. He's a really interesting kind of journeyman, but he's always had all-star talent. Injuries and things like that have really kind of derailed his career here and there, but he always makes kind of a comeback. And right now he's with the Miami Heat. This is a really good looking card. It's another one of those lights camera action cards. And this is Devin Booker, a really good player for the Phoenix Suns. He is a great scorer, and he played really well in the playoffs last year. Corey Kispert, rookie card, plays for the Washington Wizards. Alright, final pack. This is Darius Baisley, Oklahoma City Thunder. And Devin Booker, once again, Phoenix Suns. Miles Bridges, the Charlotte Hornets. He actually really improved a lot between last year and this year. Clint Capella, Atlanta Hawks. Patrick Beverley, he's known as a defensive player. Plays for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Jamal Murray, a really good player for the Denver Nuggets. Unfortunately, he's been injured all year. It's a shame. He was having a great year just a few seasons ago. Back in the bubble, if I remember correctly. Brandon Clark, Memphis Grizzlies. And our final rookie is Miles McBride for the New York Knicks. So overall, pretty good group of players. I didn't get Joel Embiid or Tyrese Maxey, unfortunately, but I did get this Evan Mobley jersey card, which is amazing. So I'm very happy about that. But anyways, alright guys, well, that's going to be the end of this video for me. However, I hope to eventually do a few more card pack openings in the future. I really do enjoy doing these with you, and I hope you enjoy them too. And maybe this got you to grow interested in some other NBA players to watch highlights of or what have you. And if you have any cards in here that you thought were the best, or players you liked the most, or whatever the case might be, please go ahead and let me know down below in the comments. And until next time, I hope you have yourself a great morning, or afternoon, or evening. And most importantly, my friends, I hope you sleep well. Good night.